Welcome to this look at a new mod map on Farming Simulator 22 with me, MrSealyp. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on Great River Lands by Carl T.G. This is a new mod map out on Farming Simulator 22. I know, a new map. 216.07 megabytes download. The map looks like this, with a great river running through it and the lands either side. We do start up here, which is interesting. And I said this with one of the previous map tours I was doing about starting in a location so far away from the farm and not having a vehicle. No, we're right here, right by the grocery mart, which we'll see in a moment, and our pickups in the car park. So we obviously popped out to grab some groceries, which is pretty cool. As far as the map goes and pricing of fields and whatnot, we start with on New Farmer Plot 1, which is the farm, the only farm on the map. It's fairly flat across the entire map. There's plenty of space and room to do whatever you want. We do have a couple of forested areas, so if you want to do a bit of forestry. Now, I always say about field prices, and people say, I don't know why you always bother, because most of the time you just say it's about average, but sometimes you get maps where they're high, sometimes they're low. This one is one of the low-end ones. If I click on a bit of forest there, 41,000. That bit of farmland there, 51,000. That larger one up there, 98,000. Field 10, massive. Only 224,000. So I would say on this map, field and plot prices are fairly low compared to a lot of other maps, which might intrigue you. It might be like, oh no, you know what, we can build from here. Plot 12, for example, 270 grand. That's all that is for all that, which takes in a couple of the plots with some of the other things on as well. So if you want to add sell points and other productions and things, you can if you want to. If we come... Yeah, we'll go around the map and have a look. Right, out there, there are 100 collectibles. I'd normally say I didn't come across any. I will do a spoiler alert later on because we do come across quite a few in one place. As far as required mods go, there are none, so nothing automatically downloads. Under build mode, I think the only thing I found was under production and factories. And I think these have just been modded slightly to make them fit the map. Again, as far as I can tell, they're fairly standard productions with standard recipes. There was nothing else really that stood out, but they have been adjusted, apparently. And then under sell points, we have got a debris crusher, but then next to it we've got a junkyard. As far as I can tell, again, it's the same thing. It's a debris crusher, but it's at the junkyard, so that's been modded. Everything else, stock standard. So, what we'll do from here, our pickup is parked in the car park just over here. If we go around through the car park, just over here is the grocery mart, and the sell point for the grocery mart is just round the back. All very lovely. Let's grab our pickup and let's head on. We have our groceries. I suppose that would be a cool feature going forward. We always seem to be going bigger with everything, and to go smaller, to go macro, go down a little bit, like I was saying about doing farming and stuff with scythes and horses and, you know, handheld machinery and stuff, I think would be quite cool. But that thing as well, like at the moment you can go and get your vehicle repaired. There are some maps where you have to go and buy vehicle parts for certain productions. But how cool would it be that when you need to do maintenance, you need to go to the local vehicle store and buy parts? Like you do every year. When any of the YouTubing channels you watch, when they're doing their routine maintenance, they get their oil filters and oil, and you have to actually go and buy those things. And every so often, you either feed yourself from your farm, or you've got to go and buy groceries. That would be, I think, an interesting thing to add in, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? I don't know. I think it would. Anyway. Excuse me, traffic, apologies. So, straight across the road, vehicle shop and workshop. There's the vehicle shop trigger. Workshop trigger is just here. Large open space. This is also the reset point on the map. If you get stuck or for any reason you just want to reset a vehicle, it will reset here. And obviously vehicles will spawn here when you purchase them initially. We are heading east. I say, so there are some plots, and it's, you know, it's a map. It's a fair size. Gas station, fuel station just over there. If we keep going a bit further along. And as you can see, like I say, it's pretty flat. There are trees here and there. And that's not as much of a problem as it used to be on maps. And people say, oh yeah, but you know, I want to clear the land, I want to put stuff on there. There are plenty of mulches and things in game now in the mods hub that you can just go and grab, and you can remove trees in absolutely no time. Not like the old days we had to cut them all down by hand and do proper forestry. You can get rid of them. Animal dealer and animal dealer sell point. Most of the stuff you'll recognise is fairly standard stuff from various different standard maps. But this is another one of those maps that's got that potential for growth. It's kind of, it starts you out with a few bits. It does say in the description that all in-game productions are sellable, so the ones that are on the map you can sell if you want to. So, animal dealer, I'm just going to double check. Come out to the, where are we here? Right, to animal dealer, yes. Now we're going to head back. Right, so I'm going to drive back across from here. So we started here, vehicle shop, gas station, animal dealer. I'm going to back out across this way. When we cross the crossroads, I will see you again. We're going to head out west, then down to the farm, and then we're going to head across. Now, the only one thing I will say, and if you buy normally on maps, when you buy both sides of a river, sometimes you can get away with it without. The problem is I don't think we can buy the river itself. But as long as you buy the plots either side, there are plenty of bridge mods. I mean, loads of bridge mods. So if you wanted to add in extra bridging points across the map, you can, because there is only one crossing point. So potentially you might want to do that. And I don't see any reason, I haven't tried actually, but I don't see any reason why that would work. So, heading west. So we are coming up on the crossroads. I meant to say as well, there are contracts available on this map, and there are no custom crops. It's standard crop types. Straight across. Now what is interesting is as we come into this built up area here, you've got this sort of cluster, a bit of forestry to left, but you've got this, say, cluster of homes. A second. And what I like about this is it actually says in the description that when you buy this plot, I think it's plot 4 on the map, we've got a bakery just here. So we're coming into the built up area now. If you buy plot 4, it says you can come and do like mowing jobs, so you can come and mow people's yards and stuff like that. So it adds a little bit of, you know, immersion, a little bit of a storyline narrative if you wanted to have that in there. So we've come across here, so this area here, which is basically the little town, buy that whole plot up, and you've got access to the gardens. You just come and do some mowing and whatever you want to do. Again, you can put sell points, you can put little, there are tons of little cottage industry productions you could have in someone's garden and stuff like that. But yeah, it gives you the ability to do that, which I think is quite cool. So, heading through from there. Dairy on our right hand side. As we come out the other side, we have got the spinnery and carpentry just here, and if we follow this road around the back, just here we've got our oil mill, oil mill and cereal factory just here. Now we're heading down towards the farm. We'll just go straight across here, run the risk, yep, and then right fork down to the farm. All of the buildings here are removable. The plot itself isn't very expensive. Like I say, you do start with a new farmer, so we're now here. I think it's only 20 grand. That's all for this plot. And all the, like I say, all the buildings and machinery are removable if you want to. I haven't taken a picture of what it looks like with them all removed, because I mean it's just there's not a lot on here, so it'll be a flat open basically placeables area. Sleep trigger over here. We do have a dog. What's this one called? Wings is about somewhere. This little bit of fence, there you go. This little bit of fencing can be removed around the back as well if you want to. Shed and storage space over to the side here, and we do start with a fair bit of equipment. Got a John Deere there, got a Cedar. And that's a fairly large John Deere to be getting started with, isn't it? Really? Cultivator, header trailer, another John Deere, Zator, with mowing equipment. I do like running a rig like this. When you're just feeding the animals, doing enough to just feed, if it's sheep, whatever, just having a mower on the front and a forage wagon behind, and you're just mowing that strip to just feed that. I think that works really well. Across the way we have got a, I don't know, write it down, Farmer 400 silo. Standard in-game silo, standard crop types, nothing in it. Farmer 400. More shed and storage space, and then we've got chickens. I think it's full. We've got 30 out of 30 in here. So we do start with some chickens. Yep, 30 out of 30, but we also start with jet whoosh just there, and then just around the side here we've got a little solar what am I talking about? A little wind turbine. I wrote down on my notes solar. I'm having a mare of like, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, little wind turbine, which will earn you a little bit of income, not a huge amount. So that's the main farm. Again, plenty of room and scope for building on it if you want to, and adding to it. If you don't like that type of shed or any type of sheds, you can remove those. Again, if you don't want to have any vehicles and machinery. If you do remove all of this, and you do remove all of the vehicles and machinery, including the pickup you start with, slot count on all 3 game modes is 1026. I got it down to 823. So if you want to get your slot count right down to give you more scope for building from here, you absolutely can if you want to. So we're going to head back towards the main crossing point. What is interesting is this road runs all the way back towards the sort of the main road that heads south and across the bridge. But as you get close to it, I thought, oh, that's brilliant. We'll just run around the edge of this field. No, you have to go back up into the town to come back out again. So I might just scoot around the field. I'm sure no one will mind. If there are no crops in it or they have been harvested, I will. Actually, what I might do, I'm going to head down and we'll run along the side of the river. We'll do that. There we go. Nice and picturesque. Lovely area for picnics. I always find it intriguing when I say stuff on map tours, like when I say about collectibles, and I'll often say I haven't come across any, and I get a flurry of people telling me where they all are. I do appreciate it, I really do. But when I'm doing the map tour, I'm just stating a fact. I haven't come across one. If I find one, I will say I'm not necessarily going to play on the map. It's nice that people do. And when I always say, look, there's forestry here if you want to do it. The amount of times people message me and say I don't want to do forestry, that's great as well. You don't have to. But the same with any of it. If you don't want to do productions, don't do them. If you don't want to do farming, don't do it. You can come on the map and just sit and enjoy the scenery. Whatever you want to do is entirely up to you. So, the crossing point here at the river. Once we've crossed here, we're going to chuck a right at the next crossroads. I haven't mentioned the textures, the colour palette, lighting. It's all very nice. It all works very well. It's not overly colourful. I've said it before. Some map tours you do, and they're just absolutely covered in really bright flowers. It just seems overly bright everywhere you go. And when you get a really nice balance of all of it, and then when you look into the forest, sometimes you get maps where the forest is just completely flat forest texture with nothing else in there. It's got a nice feel to it. It works. So, heading out here, we come into, this is a sell point. There's a rent train point here, so you can bring stuff out here to load your train up. This is, what's it down as? Train storage bay. It's not a storage, it is a sell point. Because sometimes we get railroad silos and stuff like that. The fact it's storage bay, I thought I'd better double check just in case it is. Rent train point is just there. Loading of the train can be done here at this raised platform, and there's the sell point for train storage bay just there. Now we're going to continue heading west again, and we're going to cross over the railway at a crossing. Now I was going to say this now, spoiler alert. At the crossing, it is crossing carnage. Somebody appears to have spilled all their toys, because when I drove over I thought, hang on a minute, that can't be right. There are collectibles everywhere. Look, all over the shop. So if you want a few collectibles, when I want to earn a bit of money, straight to the level crossing, boom. Right, from here we are now heading south again. I mean, we're going east, west, south, east, we're all over the place. Got to make sure I go the right way. Who knows? Now, the next two places we're going to come to are very, very large facilities that I think just have sell points. I don't think they're productions. And I'm going to double check because I can't remember. I didn't write it on my notes. I can't remember if you can buy the land or not. No, not that way. That way. Let me swing around into here. Right. So I'm just going to double check on the map. So from the farm, we went out along there. We came down towards the river, around that woodland, and along, crossed here, out to there, took in the rent train point and the transport bay, storage bay, crossed at the crossing, and went out this way. We swung round here. Let me just double check. No, you can't. This one and this one we can't buy. That plot you can, but that's interesting actually. That one you can, which has got a sell point on. I suppose because it's got land around it. These two we can't. Which again, it's one of those kind of mildly frustrating things I find on map tours when you've got these big open areas that you could put productions or sell points and sort of add to the facility that's already here, but then you can't. I don't know. Anyway, it's a huge facility. This is grain mill. It's just a sell point. It's not a production grain mill. Just, I don't think it is anyway. I'm pretty sure it's just a sell point. When I checked the prices menu, it just showed pricing there. If we come out and across the way, first time I've actually looked for traffic coming. Probably still pull out in front of some. Cross over, we've got power plant. Again, just a sell point, but power plant. Just over this side. We come out from the power plant. There's a little track somewhere. Oh. There we go, just here. Swing round here, and we come to the junkyard. So this was the debris crusher that's in the build mode as junkyard. This area can be purchased, and I did wonder whether or not you could remove the rubble and stuff. I couldn't find. There might be one of those sweet spots where you click on one particular thing and you can clear it all. I didn't find it, so as far as I can tell, that stays as it is. But the good thing with this is you could then add to this. There are recycling centres in the mod tab. There's all sorts of stuff you could put in here to add to it if you wanted to. So there's your junkyard, just there. Whoa. Reading notes whilst driving. Straight across. I'm going to cut across here because there's a little track that runs from down by this field, which is easier to use. There we go. What we need. Yeah, they seem to be scattered all over the place. I didn't notice those last time. Maybe I joined this track a little bit further up. So, biogas plant. I'm not going to buy it. Standard biogas plant. It's a 1 megawatt, 1.5 million to buy. Pretty standard. But one thing I did notice, oh no, they're at the back here. Of course they are. There we go. Often these 1 megawatt ones will have two of these large silage clamps next to each other here. There only appears to be one, but silage clamp is there for the biogas plant. Actually, I should have gone out. Can we go out the other way? I think I can. Let's check the map. I've lost myself. Come across there. Biogas plant. Oh no, we are straight up from here. I was going the right way. Thought I'd further to go east again. Oh blimey, I'm having a nightmare steering today. Follow this track all the way up through the little forest here. We come to the last point. I'm taking my life in my own hands today. To railroad silo. So this is a transfer silo with the rent train. I'm going to leave that there. I don't know what's happening today. If I'd have followed the road round and not just staved the front of my pickup in on that tree, We've got a transfer silo. Now, I did double check this as well, because it had 2 points here. I thought, okay, is this part for transferring into the silo, and is that a sell point? Because sometimes you get that on maps. So the easiest way to double check that, if you're sometimes not sure, come to the prices menu, scroll down all the items, and keep an eye on the right-hand side. Because this on the map, we go back up, we are here, is labelled as railroad silo. So as you can see, railroad silo with the rent train point there. So if you come to the prices menu and scroll down, if you get one on here to the right hand side that says railroad silo, then potentially you've got a sell point there as well. So that's something to be aware of. I scrolled right the way down to the bottom and I didn't get anything on the right hand side come up for railroad silo. So as far as I can tell, you've just got 2 tipping points into the silo. So into the silo, done there, out of the silo, done there, if you're doing it by road. If you're putting it into the silo or out of the silo by train, you do it over here. We will, it depends how far away it is actually. How far is it? Oh, it's only 1.5 kilometres. When the train comes, the train goes to Deerlands. That's another Coal TG map, isn't it? I'm just going to double check that. There's me saying that out loud. Great River Lands, the Forgotten Lands, the Rainy Forest, the Good Times Farm, Oceanside Forest, Deerlands. Wow. Wild River Forest, Timber Valley. Coal TG, prolific in map production. So yeah, the train goes out to Deerlands. Here it comes now. Just so you can have a look at it and you can see what sort of carriages and stuff it's got on it. Cars, how do you want to refer to them? Is it carriages when it carries people? Cars when it's goods? I don't know. I'm not a train expert. My son would know. So that should be arriving shortly. And that's the map. I mean, if we go back to the map, we started up the top there, went out that way, came across that way and down, round and across there, did a loop round, took in that, looped around there, took in those, came across, back up, and we're here. Those 2 icons either side, the railway comes in from the west, goes through to the east, to Deerlands, there we go. Fairly standard. I mean, sometimes you get them, one of the map tours I did the other day had 2 flat cars, one of these, and then 2 forestry ones. So it depends, I suppose, what the map has to offer, but this seems fairly standard with a forestry one and a flat car at the back. That's the map. That's Great Riverlands by Coal TG. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. As always, thanks for watching.